From The Willows by Algernon Blackwood. When common objects in this way become charged with the suggestion of horror, they stimulate the imagination far more than things of unusual appearance. And these bushes, crowding huddled about us, assumed for me in the darkness a bizarre grotesquerie of appearance that lent to them somehow the aspect of purposeful and living creatures. Their very ordinariness, I felt, masked what was malignant and hostile to us. This is Gothic.
Have sound waves.
I also have sound waves.
He was my favorite Transformer.
Oh, Shockwave?
No, Soundwave.
Oh, Soundwave, yeah, the Ghetto Blaster. And, you had the two different little cats that came out. And, one was a cat, one was a bird. Set tapes, yeah.
Wait. You just said there are two little cats that came out, but one was a cat and one was a bird?
I meant to say cassettes.
Oh!
Well, there were three different types, but there was two of each. So there were two cats, there were two birds, and then there were two little robot guys. Because the one guy, they had the little pounders, he could cause the earthquakes.
Yep. Anyway, I digress. Hey, Sojourners, sorry.
Digress? Us? Never.
Good evening, Sojourners. Last time on the Gothic Podcast, we left our Inheritors, Gigi, Jason, Carl, Allison, and one non-inheritor, Owl Nizoni, the FBI agent, in Caine Manor, where they had gone in order to, hopefully, find the book. What they find in a hallway leading to the library of the manor house is a dead cat, or ghost cat? Well, in any case, it's a cat that should no longer be alive, because, Carl saw that cat die decades and decades ago, and be brought back. It led our characters down the hallway and through the door to the library, where they indeed did see the book, the De Mortalis, floating in midair, hovering there, churning with power. But their attention was also drawn to the desk in the room, behind which sits Lazaro Caine, brother of Carl and father of Jason.
Not happy about it.
That's uncomfortable. I didn't think about that aspect of it.
Seems tales of your death are greatly exaggerated.
And Lazaro says, "It's about time you all got here. There's a few things you need to know."
Jason pulls out. Oh no, Jason already had his knives out.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm carrying a chainsaw. Did I leave that in the car?
With a tight grip on
your tongue?
The knives in my hands. What is this game?
Well, you missed my joke, I think, because I said, "Cat, got your tongue?" I get it?
Well, I'm sure there's a joke in there about, look at the leaves calling the grass green, look at you calling us late.
Going to say the afterlife seems
but
to
never mind.
Had no effect on your sense of humor or lack thereof, brother.
Well, you're looking better than you have in years, aren't you there, brother mine?
So it seems. Look down at his own now young body and nod in agreement.
Well, for all of this, we have our father, Carl, to thank or blame. You see, in the mid-1800s, our father, not our grandfather as we always thought, Carl, no, Lazaro Caine, then already in his 60s. He retired here to Elk Island. He'd been involved in a very successful and very lucrative smuggling business out of Portland, a business that wasn't in small part based on shanghaiing sailors and processing them to various ships in need of willing or unwilling crew. As you might suspect, he made more than a few enemies during that time. Elk Island, here, proved to be far enough away and difficult enough to access that it could protect him. His good friend and business partner, a fellow named, you might recognize the name, Elric Hart, joined him on the island, and together they founded the town of Spirit Bay on the site of, a pre-existing Lummi fishing village. Our father wanted an even greater buffer than that, though, so he started building what would become this, our ancestral home. It was during this construction that he found the cave of the hand of God. That did not go well.
How so?
Oh, well, Jason, my boy, my son, you have experienced some of the visions attendant upon exposure to the, Godfall. Our father was particularly susceptible, like my nephew William. He was overcome by the power that he was exposed to in that cave, much like William was when he opened the book. And at this, Lazaro Caine looks very pointedly up at the book floating in midair. And then he glances also very pointedly, and the rest of you see this, at GG.
I've been, up until this point, kind of like, just very slowly and silently sidestepping. I don't want to be bunched up right, exposed in the doorway.
Okay, what are the rest of you during this monologue doing?
Is there a chair in the room?
There are a few.
Carl,
I mean, spend a survival point, and there will be chairs. No, there's chairs in the room.
Then Carl actually just kind of wander over and take a seat.
Closer to Lazaro, Carl, you see, well, quite literally, that you can see right through him. It's not transparent, but you can see the shadow of books on the wall behind Lazaro. Yeah, like William. He was overcome by the power. When he awoke, here, in this library, one of the first rooms to have been constructed, he found in front of him that book, written in his own hand, the De Mortalis. The book, as you know, Gigi, is very powerful and very corrupting. It nearly took him, our father, Carl, as it has taken William. Perhaps it did. I do not know. But he fought on, and eventually learned awesome things from the book. He began an accumulation of arcane lore, much of which is still here in the inner library, and some of which I found and played with you with, Carl. But some of that knowledge allowed him a certain amount of, let's say, leeway in aging. Eventually, with the help of Elric Hart's law offices, he passed himself off as his own son, the man everyone on Elk Island knows as our father, Carl. Your grandfather, Jason.
And you? I take it you didn't learn the aging trick so well?
Well, it's already in our blood. How old do you think we get to live, Carl? Normally? Not us, not with our, lifestyles. But given that the magic, if that's what it is in us, then, yeah, I would say that, nearly 100 is a pretty good run. Though health could have been a little better at the end. Anyway, our father, continued to mine the magic of the fallen god, using the lighthouse as a wellspring, a pump, pumping the magic from the hand to the surface. It was during those experiments in magic that he also awoke portions of the dead god's consciousness, if it can be called that, and the god shed began to emerge. They had done so over the years, whenever the corpus had been disturbed. But our father, Carl, using the lighthouse, delved beyond the bones and the petrified flesh and into the marrow of creation that still swirls in that wreck. Dead or not, the god was trying to heal, to connect the severed hand back to the rest of the body and thus fully awaken again. And as it did so, the godshed became more aware and more powerful, become more aware and more powerful because the process, it has not stopped. The godshed tried to come for him here in the house. Caine blood was now infused with the same magic that once flowed through the veins of a god. In their partial consciousness, they, the godshed, thought that spilling the living blood magic over the dead would hasten the healing process. Our father was not, as you might suspect, keen on this idea. This is, if I'd only been restored to my own youth, as some of us. But
how does it stop? How does it end?
So impatient, my son.
Stop calling me that!
Like I used to be, I suppose.
You gave up that right.
I gave up no such right. Shut up for a moment and listen.
I throw a knife at his head. He just pushed, like, the last button on me.
Roll attack.
Okay. And I'm gonna use my, Whirlwind of Blades, my knife throwing.
Go for it.
7 plus 8. 25.
25.
No, sorry, 24.
Excellent.
That's 18 plus 8. No, wait.
Okay.
Did I do that right? 16 plus 8. 24. Or 20. Ah, god damn it. 9, 7, 8 equals 24. Math hard.
What are you trying?
Math hard when I'm so pissed at this guy right now.
Next shirt, math hard.
He likes to stab, not to
Somewhere
add.
in the 20s, we have decided.
9, 7, 8 is 24.
The knife catches Lazaro Caine in the throat. He gurgles. Blood sprays out of his mouth. His eyes roll back in his head as he leans back in the chair. He collapses. To say no more the secrets he might have imparted.
God damn.
Then he reaches up and pulls the knife out and laughs heartily.
Called it.
What is it the kids say, Carl? Psych.
Wait a minute, he's funny, actually.
Where was
I
I?
believe you're explaining your current state.
Patience, son. You have already seen me dead. I'm already there. And I'm not long for this place. Don't worry. I'll go back to hell soon enough. Your knife won't send me there. And he makes a motion, and it just sort of flicks away and then just sticks into the spine of a book on the bookshelf.
I wouldn't mind trying some more.
I have a chainsaw.
Oh, you can try now, but there are things you should know.
Then,
And I am growing weary.
so what is this and how do we stop it?
Again, patience, perseverance. Seems like I should have been around to teach you some lessons, boy.
Why, frankly, do you care? What do you expect to gain from all this?
I'm unsure on that. I have had mixed feelings over the years, it's true. I, early on, tried to tap into that power that our father did, and yet I have not been willing to pay the same price that he was willing to pay. All right. You see, this house and the lighthouse itself, both are important. The Godshed came for our father. They came for me. They come for all of us. And the house protects us. Our father began building it with the knowledge he found in his books. To confuse, to waylay, to distract, to expel. The Godshed could not come here. Eventually, though, our father determined that to become truly immortal, and, well, that's what I wanted as well, that he needed to spill Caine blood. He took me, Carl, in the night. He took me. He knocked me out with poisons, and he took me because you were not here, because you ran away. I was the only one left, Carl, the one who stayed to take care of him when everyone else had gone. He took me to the lighthouse. I regained consciousness before he expected it, though. We fought. There was a storm, of course, wind and rain, lightning and sleet. We were at the edge of the finger. I shoved him, and he fell. Even then, he would not die. I ran to the bridge and looked down. There, I saw him crawling on the beach toward something that I could not see, but he did not make it. Things came for him from the sea, my family. Things came, and they tore at him, and then they carried him toward that place I could not see, and the light in the lighthouse grew brighter, and more of the Godshed rose after that. And then, what can I say? I am a Caine. I tried to learn what he had learned. I never achieved what he did, but the Godshed came for me, and so I kept building more wings onto the house. In time, I shut the lighthouse down. But even so, some nights it still came on of its own volition. Perhaps the Godshed started, I do not know. On those nights, I barred the doors of the house and sequestered myself here in its innermost sanctum, the hardest room in the manor to access. Finally, in the end, I thought I knew what I needed to know. The Godshed creatures wanted to kill me, yes, but they wanted to kill me in the caves below the mountain, where the magically infused blood would call to that of our fathers and bind the hand to the rest of the body and finally awaken the god from its slumber of death. Oh, your knife didn't help that. So I went down to the base of the finger of God to finally see for myself, a task I had always talked myself out of before, but I thought that if I could remove our father's body from the cave, then the spell would be broken, and the Godshed would hunt me no more. Instead, the things that guard that cave came up from below the waters, pulled me from my boat, and that, dear brother, my lost son, my nieces, was the end of me, except for this tattered remnant, a form of Godshed myself, I think. But the cave is not where they needed Caine blood. They needed that up in the mountain, and they got that when you, brother, died there. There, I have said my piece. Ask your questions.
Jason's been making his way over during that whole exchange to grab the knife out of the bookcase and just puts it in the tool belt with the other one, and is just listening, looking over when he gets done. So what about that? As I motion to the book floating in the air.
The book the knife was sticking out of, by the way, was The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Nice. Stinky, but nice.
That is what it is. What do you want to know?
What does it have to do with all of this?
So they've spilt blood on the hand. They've spilt blood below the mountain. My condolences, by the way, Carl. But they're still coming after us. They need more.
They need all of it.
I suppose it wouldn't hurt, would it? Speed up the process even faster? I know not how long it will take, but it cannot be long.
They need all of it. Yours, mine, Carl's, everything that's left.
Mine, says Allison.
Then it's not over.
Yes. Oh, God. I can't believe I forgot
She's over there. I've been here the whole time, guys.
Well, and it's as I said, yours, Allison's right there by Gigi anyway, so it was I'm kind of pointing at both of them. Yours,
gesturing to both of them.
Mine, Carl's, yeah.
Yours, plural, It's English's fault for not having a your plural.
That is what our father, your grandfather, Jason, wrote in his fugue state, which is what Hart called it. For days, apparently, he had holed himself up in here, writing that. It is everything that he saw when he was exposed to the consciousness of something so beyond our comprehension that, well, that it is able to change the very nature of reality.
And Mr. Hart, what's his role in all of this?
Hart's sons, they know that their father owed a lot to this family and maintained the friendships. I maintained my friendships with them, and, well, money buys a lot, especially loyalty. It was, yes, me who put this book into a safety deposit box.
And gave it to William.
And
you knew he would take it.
I did. I had hoped it would kill him.
I think it did. I rather think it did.
Well, that is another question I have. William, Kit, are they all part of the Godsend or whatever you called them?
The Godshed? I don't believe that William is Godshed. William, or whatever he is now, that came from the book, which is a direct conduit to the dead god, then.
So this book needs to be destroyed also. In and of the sense that our blood is fueling this thing, this book could as well.
But I think that now the book is mostly words. I don't think it has the power that it did, as long as it is also free in the form of good dear William. Trick him back into the book and destroy him both, perhaps. I suppose, too, you could try to expose him to the light of the lighthouse. That much undiluted magic would draw him back into the corpus, possibly. Yes, perhaps.
What does the light do to the Godshed?
Well, it creates them, but they, as best I understand, they gain power from it, but they cannot stand in it, because they would be once more with the self of the deity.
No longer shed.
Right. They're like the sparks thrown off by the flame. If you put them back into the flame, they become part of that again. They are no longer their separate entities.
So how do we stop it?
Taking so many notes.
How do you stop it? Well, my theory was, before my death, and death has not changed my mind much, was that remove the bodies. Carl's, our father's, and, yes, remove the bodies and shut down the light. Make sure it doesn't come back on. And even then, I don't know, it may be too late. I thought I was gone forever after having inserted myself into the memory dreams of you, Carl. But here I am, stronger than I was, fading. But then it had taken everything I had to exist for a while, to warn you of what the Godshed were trying to do.
Had you ever considered further removing the hand from the deity, perhaps by some kind of explosive device, frame it as mining, get a bunch of dynamite?
What about getting rid of the deity?
I doubt that's possible. I mean, unless you could find another deity to do it for you. I know that the organization that established itself on the mountain, the Weathermen, they tried, I believe, to mine it, but that resulted in failure. There were rumbles of a time on the mountain. Perhaps they tried explosives. To be honest, I do not know. I do not see everything.
I meant more targeting the wrist area, as it were, further removing the hand from the rest of it. You said that they needed the hand to reattach.
Yes, I think it's more of a metaphorical thing.
Oh, very well.
But I could be wrong, Gigi.
You've been wrong before.
I have been. It's true. For example, you exist.
It occurs to me that...
you are all supposed to kill each other off.
Yes, and your will conveniently brought us all back here where they needed us to be.
Yes, where you were supposed to kill one another so that they could not use you.
Thanks for that, by the way.
And how do we know that still isn't your plan?
If you're willing to do it, go for it, because that would definitely solve the problem. If there are no more Caines, well, no, the problem has already been exacerbated. There's no point in you killing yourselves now.
So the rabbit people, was that your doing?
That was your good daughter-in-law. Or...
I knew it!
Is that the correct terminology for someone who is your sister's granddaughter?
You really should have a chart for all of this, brother.
I do. Sister's granddaughter.
Yes, Candace Caine. She is the granddaughter of our sister Rebecca.
And what's her take on all of this?
Probably something disgusting, like eternal power or...
Candace was, well, cut out of the inheritance early by our father. And, well, not Candace, but that entire branch of the family for reasons you probably remember, Carl. But the granddaughter, Candace, she became obsessed with the Caine legacy, I believe, and plotted to weave her way back into the fold, and she sort of got her way when she married your son, Carl. When she found a book, not this book, and he looks up at it, when she found a minor book of magic that day when William tried to kill you, Carl, she tried it out there on the road and found out that magic worked. She had already had some encounters with the so-called, what did they call themselves? The Children of Gaia. But that wacky witch cult led by Sun Young Lam of the Lodge. But using the magic, she was able to make them something more malicious. She wanted the book. She wanted the power. She listened to the whispers on the wind, William's whispers, I now believe, and so went after you. And that's when I tried to bring you some help in the form of Carl. Didn't think it would be giving you, Carl, more life I didn't get a chance at.
That leads me to another question that arose earlier. Hard left turn here, subject-wise. Are the gods' dreams the only ones which are turning into reality? Or is it all dreams?
I'm sorry, I don't know that I understand the question.
We have among us a tattoo which is based on a online fan art of Lovecraftian mythology, and it worked as a glyph of protection.
Holy shit, says Owl.
It worked as a glyph of protection, reportedly. I was not there at the time. In the caverns under Fog Mountain. Now, there's no reason why it should have worked, except that either this fan artist somehow was versed in the arcane arts, and willing to put them out on the internet, or it worked because it needed to.
I suppose either could be possible. Maybe things just have more power here on Elk Island. Or maybe that art was seeded out there into the world when the lighthouse glowed brightly that night that I killed father?
Just a thought.
I do not know.
Do you have any input, Owl?
We all turn and stare at Al.
Yeah, no, I'm getting that too. And I walk over and grab the book.
Wait, the book?
The book. The book!
Okay.
Jason, no.
Roll protect.
Protect.
Oh, wait, you just rolled.
I
Sorry.
did just roll.
So I get to roll assault. I roll 3d20s, right?
I hope not.
Oh, I got a 14.
That matches.
Ah, excellent. You reach up, Jason, and you grab a hold of the book, and there is a spark of static electricity, a bigger than static electricity spark. Everybody can actually see the momentary lightning-like flames strike out from beneath where Jason touches the book. And then it falls into your hand, but that unbalances you a little bit. And you kind of open your hand a bit, and the book falls
Oh, damn
open.
it. I was trying not to open
And
it.
then your mind is assaulted by images, by thoughts. These are dark thoughts. They're imagery of you slaughtering everyone in this room, starting with your father, Lazaro Caine, but everyone else too. You see it in your head. You see yourself plunging both of your knives into Carl's chest. You see yourself spinning around, going low, slashing Allison's Achilles heel, and then as she's on the ground, plunging the daggers into her eyes. You see yourself leaving them there and leaping onto Gigi like a wild animal, twisting her head all the way around. And as you see all of this, your benevolent GM spends 1 tension point to bring that down into a success.
Holy shit. My whole body just relaxed.
Okay.
And the book closes.
Oh my god.
I kind of want to. I kind of want to think that I have one of those moments where you ever have one of those dreams where you just start screaming in the dream and nothing is coming out, and you actually wake from the dream and start to scream.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Jason actually comes out screaming, like he was in a dream and just is screaming to get out of the dream, to get away from whatever was haunting him in that dream. And as he's screaming, this helpless that's not really coming out.
That
but
like strangled
finally,
sounding.
Yeah, but finally comes out as like a very loud scream. No! As the book closes, I will not become like William. And I slam it on the ground and take a knife and stab it into it to keep it closed.
You also start throwing up black viscous fluid of some sort.
Oh dear God, am I losing a survival point?
No, I'm the one that spent the point on that. I could have I could have charged you a survival point there, but I did not. For I am a benevolent GM.
For now.
Fan of the players, you might say.
A fan of the players, you might say.
I'm gonna be having been rushed over and was like, don't touch it.
As you stab the book, Jason, go ahead and roll an attack.
Ooh.
2 6s, 12. I'm just wondering if I want to use it as part of my whirlwind of blades and get the extra 8 out of it, or just use the 4.
Do it. You're assaulting the book. Get the bonus.
Yeah, 20. And that was a double, so if it succeeds, I get a
Hell
survival
yeah.
back.
Yep, nice. How many points would I have to spend for that not to succeed?
It's at a 20.
So let's see. It's protect.
No, that was an assault.
Right, but it's protect.
But against
so
your protect. Got you.
The protect of the book.
Let's see. I will spend 5. Nope, I'm sorry. I will spend 6 points
Wow.
to make that fail.
But hey, look, the tension is only 2. That's amazing.
The knife melts as it strikes the book. The blade just melts
Oh my god.
as you're jamming down on it. And now the front of the book is covered in this rapidly cooling molten steel.
Oh my god. Just out of curiosity, is there a fireplace in the library there
What?
that is currently burning?
No.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
alright.
there could be if you spent a survival.
I am spending a survival point on that.
You just got one, so got one to spare. Hold on though, Patrick, because now the book is covered in molten metal. Does it not take any damage from being coated in molten steel?
No, it just has a new cover now.
Yeah, this has a new cover.
It's the new thing they're doing for books, you
Metal
know?
cover.
Yeah,
Metal.
it's a new.
Yep.
That book
Yeah.
is so metal, you guys.
It's not leather bound, it's metal bound.
Hey,
Metal. Rah!
metal.
All right.
Yeah, I heard this
All right,
great song.
Sharon.
It's a metal cover.
Ooh.
If you'll stop, I'll give you a survival point.
Well, I'm out anyway, so.
Lazaro says, "Well, good job, son." And you look over and you see that he was being very sarcastic because he is beginning to fade. And you also hear somewhere else in the manor house a Cthulhu, as doors are flung open.
Sounds like William has discovered we're here.
That's right. He can get into the library,
Because he's not God shed.
as far as we know.
He's book shed.
And as Lazaro's voice becomes more distant, and he has broken the wards, many of them.
How do we redraw them? Real quick. Point us at any book in the arcane library which will help. That's not that one.
Your impatient cousin has made that more. And then there is a ripping sound. And where Lazaro is in the chair, because he hasn't moved from the chair, he didn't stand up or anything, he's just starting to fade. But as he begins to fade, he tears down the middle,
Ew.
and two hands come out and push-pull the two sides of Lazaro's body apart, and there's more of a ripping sound. And the figure that emerges is naked. All you see is his torso, but naked, covered in gore, blood, viscera. His hair tight to his head, slicked back. His face, aquiline, patrician, almost.
I dislike it instantly.
And Lazaro Caine says,
Ah, you are here
Oh no.
in this book.
Oh no.
Well, I have been lost inside of this character for
you guys.
too long. It's going to take me a moment.
and then he cocks his head to one side.
Yes, it will take me a moment, but you may not survive that moment. Good luck.
Oh no! Oh my god!
And he stands up. This episode of the Gothic Podcast contains nudity. He stands up, still naked, covered in gore,
There can be a strategically placed bit of gore.
looks around and makes a symbol in the air, and then with a terrible sound, a splurshing sound almost, is gone.
I think Gigi at first was just like, now who's this mofo, and was about to power up the chainsaw. But, you know, having had my little flashback to Dr. Grace, Gigi's probably like stunned, like legitimately, like mouth hanging open, just like can't even reconcile what she's just seen.
It's enough, actually, to trigger a check on all of your parts here.
Oh, I shouldn't have opened my
At
mouth.
least for no, this was going to happen. I was just
Okay.
waiting until you finished. So go ahead, Sharon, for Gigi.
Mhm.
Roll an escape.
Escape. Should have made my escape a better stat. It's a
Where's the fun in that?
okay, so it's a 9 on the dice plus 4, so it's a 13 total, but not a 13 on the dice.
Okay. Yes, for a moment, you have Dr. Grace's consciousness again.
Mhm.
Jesse, make an escape for Jason.
17.
You having had a slightly deeper experience, you see this, and there are vague memories. You got the name Lazarus Caine, but you
Lazarus,
know it's not.
Man.
Yeah, you more or less get that, but you are not in danger of losing your Jason self
Gotcha.
to it.
Okay.
And Carl?
I also have a 17.
Okay. Carl is still firmly warded by Haven Harrow's magics from remembering too much about Nathan just yet, which is one of the reasons he remains confused a lot of the time. But your success also means that you do not have to worry about becoming Nathan and therefore losing your Carl self and therefore losing your grip on this world. But Gigi, I'm sorry, Dr. Grace.
Yes.
You just saw Lazarus Caine, your Lazarus Caine, the Lazarus Caine of Macon, Missouri, just tear himself out of a different Lazarus Caine.
Like the worst inception ever. Okay. All right. I'll look around. I don't remember exactly how we feel about OG Lazarus Caine, but he's...
We don't like him.
Oh, yeah, we don't like him, but, like, you know, I don't recall if we had made a solid, like, decision on what we wanted to do if we actually found him. Boy, that's a great question. Actually, you know what? Do I still have Gigi's memories and, like, awareness of, like, the context of what's happening right now?
Yes, right now you have complete and full knowledge of both worlds. You can feel a pull toward the contemporary now, however. Out of the book world.
Okay. All right. I wanted to replace the wards, to ward the house, go into the library, and I'm pointing at Al, and I'm like, find books of Arcana, you know things about that, and Jason, I need you to, if there's a bar on the library door, I need that, and I'm pointing at Allison, I need chalk, or a pen, or a Sharpie, or anything, and we're going to ward this place against William Kitteridge. And I kind of wobble on my feet a little bit.
The rest of you see Gigi begin to fade. Actually, her body begins to be overlaid for a moment by another shape, another body, a woman who is similar but not. But both of them have words starting to be written across their skin.
It's interesting.
Al, go ahead and Dr. Grayson roll
D6s.
manipulate someone.
Okay, manipulate someone. Good, it's plus charm. My least good, that one was cocked. It's a 3. So that's great.
That's experience.
It's experience.
Al, in a bit of shock from all of this, just stands there. But go ahead and do another one on Allison.
All right. Man, this is a great comeback, guys. It's a 5 this time.
Allison also stands there in shock. What did you tell Jason or Carl to do?
To Jason, I said if there's a lock or a bar on the library door, to find it, to bar the door somehow.
Jason, you can make your own decisions, so...
Yeah, I'm wondering how much of LJ pervaded through that and is actually listening.
Not very much, because you made your roll.
Okay. Jason's just still kind of staring at the puddled metal on the book and like only half listens and like looks around to like see if he can grab anything to bar the doors, but at the same time he's like, shouldn't we get out of here?
Yes, imminently, perhaps into the, what did the gentleman say, light of the lighthouse?
One of the doors barred. Jason doesn't seem to be moving quickly. And Carl remembers he's got a crowbar in his hand that he picked up at the hardware store. So he can quite literally bar the door.
Excellent. Roll protect. Oh, wait. You just rolled.
Oh, I did.
Let me roll. William's assault
Oh, no.
as the main door to the hallway
Oh, no.
Damn it.
is assaulted.
Oh,
I
Jesus.
respond with a pepper.
Oh, roll bad, William.
Oh, it's only a 15.
That is one short.
That's one short.
Yay.
Well, let's see. William's here now, so
Holy shit.
not in the room yet.
That's
but
so much
is here,
so much of an increase.
You, Carl, slam the crowbar into the door handles crosswise, hooking it with that hook that's on the end of the crowbar, and then something crashes into the door from the outside, something that has more than just physical weight, and wisps of black ichor start tendriling through the cracks in the door. And suddenly, on the other side of these French doors, which are glass, they did not shatter when presumably William crashed into them. But you see that on the other side, they have gone dark, pitch black. And those tendrils are now snaking into the room through the gaps in the sides of the door. Because, how much did I miss by?
Just
did you
one.
say? Yeah, I can spend that.
Hmm.
I think, wait a minute. Can I spend those on Assault Protect at the moment?
Oh, maybe not.
I don't think I can. Oh,
I think it's
no.
only
It's not 10
escape,
yet.
pursue, and obscure, whatever the opposite of obscure is. Identify. Unless it's
Identify.
above, what was it?
Well, this was Pursue.
No. It was assault. You rolled William's
Oh,
assault.
it was Assault. Yeah, you're right. It was Assault. I rolled my big number. Okay. All right. So you are correct. I cannot spend it on this yet. The tension is not high enough. Anybody want to spend survival points on anything?
I'm actually, as I was looking around, I also was trying to find something that I could scoop up this book with without touching it. Like, I know there's probably not like a burlap sack or anything, but if there's like some kind of box or something that I can just scoop it up in, a large envelope.
Is it on like a runner rug that you could just like bag up over your shoulder?
Wrap it up in the rug? Yeah, if that's what it is. I mean, if it's...
It absolutely could be.
Oh, no.
If I spend a survival
Indeed.
point. Spent.
All right. So you find something. What is it?
I would say it was like one of those like old leather document protectors, because Lazaro would have something like that. So it's like on the desk there's like this open binder, and I just dump everything out of it. That's whatever papers were in there, bank records, whatever, just go like scattering across the desk, and I like just like get it up under the book and scoop it into it, and like throw the latch and like wrap the string around the little circles like 15 times.
Allison and Owl are just standing there paralyzed with the weirdness of it all.
I know what I'm going to use to draw my glyphs to bar a place to a type of creature.
Okay.
I'm still holding a chainsaw, and I'm going to pop off the cap of its gas tank and splash gas out on the floor in the shape, I hope, of the symbol.
Oh, man.
Gigi doesn't have...
I thought you were going to like chainsaw it into the floor.
Yeah, that'd be
and
cool. That'd be cool. But, and I think Doc is probably actually more comfortable than Gigi with using a chainsaw. Gigi's like this big piece of like farm equipment, but it's cool in zombie movies. But anyway, I'm going to splash gas onto the floor and then light it on fire in the shape of the symbol that I want to use. So that's use magic, which is weird.
Okay. It'll just be this room.
That's okay. I want to keep William out for the time being until we can kind of collect ourselves. It's a 9 total. Math is hard when you're using different dice.
Okay.
No, you gotta say it right. Math hard.
Math hard.
9 comes with a glitch.
Okay. Choose a glitch. Okay, there's glitches. I'm going to choose short duration. The effect is of short duration.
Give me a second. Carl, what are you doing?
Carl's going to be backing away from the door and looking for a means of egress. Is there a window out of here?
There is a window. It faces sunset. But there's also another door, one that is hidden by the bookcase itself that opens into the inner library. And you also know that there is another secret door out of the inner library into another hallway of the house.
I will go over and move the right book and see if I can't open the door.
You pull out a book. It is House of Leaves.
Nice.
That bookcase swivels on a central axis, exposing an inner chamber that a set of electric torches, not in the British way, but actual fake torches, light up in the room, giving it a dim ambiance. Jason, what are you doing?
After I've scooped up the book and like tucked it up under my arm, seeing what Carl is doing, I was like, that's right. Okay, we got to get out of here. Gigi, Allison, let's go. Owl, come on. And just like start ushering them towards the newly opened bookcase.
So those guys are a bit kerfluddled. So go ahead and do a persuade.
That is like normally pretty decent for me.
Do you want to do that? Well, I won't ask now because you just rolled.
What did you say?
I was going to ask if you wanted to do them individually or separately. That is the same thing. If you want to do them individually or together.
I kind of want to do it together, only because that way I only have to worry about my one roll instead of me a roll, you a roll, me a roll kind of thing. Let's see. Okay, that's an 18 plus 6, so 24.
24. All right. So, yes, they snap out of it. Allison grabs your arm and starts half letting you pull her, half pulling you toward the door that Carl just opened. Owl takes 3 steps toward the door, looks back at Gigi/Dr. Grace, who still has words just streaming across her body.
Can we read any of those words?
Shakes his head and follows you. Do you look back and try?
Not yet. I'm like at the door, like ushering Allison and then Owl and then waiting for Gigi. As Gigi is approaching, yes, I'll try to see if I can recognize the words.
Let's find out what happens with Dr. Grace's use magic roll. Oh wait, there was a glitch. So what is that glitch? It is short duration.
Yeah. So I wanted to bar a place or portal to a specific person or type of creature, and then the effect is of short duration.
Okay.
So he cannot enter this room.
You splash gasoline out the chainsaw into a rough form. You know it's not going to be as good as it should be. You know you're not using the right materials. And yet you know that the shape is correct, roughly. Good enough, at least for a little while. You don't know how long these people will have, and you know that you're going to have to give up your sense of self here shortly, or else you will be pulled back. And there is the shape in a discoloration now on the floor of the library. How do you light it?
I figured I had been like patting Gigi's pockets for a pen or a Sharpie or what I originally wanted, which was chalk, and Gigi wouldn't carry something like that, and so, but she does have a lighter because she smokes. So that's when Doc is like, "All right, I'm gonna, go all out here." And anyway, but yeah,
don't smoke, kids. It's bad for you.
It's terrible. Anyway,
trust Lazaro Caine.
Gigi is not meant to be like a figure who you should emulate. She's not designed to be a role model for children. But yeah, I light it up, and then I'm like, waiting a second to make sure it's lit, and
so yes, it flares, and then it turns, the flames all turn blue.
Nice.
And they hover above the glyph for a moment, and then they explode outward, and you hear a very human scream from outside the French doors. It sounds like William.
Okay.
Then, in that flash of energy, is when you have to make your choice.
Okay.
GG. Dr. Grace.
Oh, as to which one I'm going to be?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing. I've just, realized, Candace is our lost, right? Grace, I think, would put this together.
Yes.
Candace is located, shall we say, within William. and so we need to find a way to get her out. And I think there's a moment where I'm like looking at the chainsaw in my hand, looking at the door, and like, oh, I can't decide. Would I go? No, I think.
Would you like to try to implant the urge into
Yes.
Gigi?
Oh, yes. I mean, not that Gigi would say no to chainsawing William Kitteridge in half anyway, but yeah, I would like to do that and leave her with that. Kind of extremely important. Like, we need to get the people in there out of there.
Roll manipulate yourself.
Okay. That's what I have to do every morning to get out of bed. And guess what, guys? It's another 3. Oh,
Man.
Grace.
Well, Dr. Grace is leveling up here pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm leveling up. Oh my god. Well, I'm going to take a point of charm because clearly I need that. All right. Oh, I can't do that. That's not a thing that I can do.
That is unfortunate because I really, really wanted to see that. I mean, you could theoretically burn a luck point, but you've been burning through those pretty fast lately.
Let me actually check those. I've only spent 2 out of how many? 7? So I have 5 left. Yeah, no, I'm just going to let it lie this time.
Oh, man. Chainsawing him open.
I kind of feel like, I think Doc would know that, like, that might be something that Gigi decides to do anyway.
Gigi, come on!
Gigi, Dr.
Jason,
Grace. Gigi,
of course.
Dr. Grace.
Yes, I'll hurry across the room after them. And recap the gas container on the on the chainsaw as I go. So it's not just spilling out behind me.
Dr. Grace, act under pressure.
Oh!
Sharon's getting a lot
Dudes,
of roll time
it's
here.
double 6s, which act under pressure is plus cool, so I get a +1, which means I rolled a 13.
Okay. Yep. So here's the time. Here's when you can sever the memories. Still be a bit of a murky haze for Gigi, but
Yeah, no, I think I will. I think Grace would probably recognize, like, especially after what happened last time, that this isn't a state in which I can continue for a long time reasonably.
when it is Gigi that gets to the secret door, there is no longer that overlay. There is no longer the words streaming across her skin, and she dives through the door.
Jason starts pulling it closed, and Carl, can you get us out of here?
Carl just heads to the next door with a nod and works on getting it open.
"Well, where are we going to go?" says Allison. And Owl has already he's starting to rip the sleeves off of his shirt.
Why not just take the whole thing off, man? Make a show of it. Owl is sexy. Owl is a sexy beast.
Oh, you know
Take
he
that
is.
shirt off.
You know he is.
It saves me another shirt, probably. You're right. And he just unbuttons it and takes the shirt off. Everybody roll a protect roll against Owl's sexiness.
We fail on purpose.
I roll a 1.
All of us just
That's
drool a
impossible.
little
You
bit.
gotta get
Can
at
I
least
can
a
I
2.
gain a survival point to fail against Owl's sexiness?
I think Gigi kind of feels like she's in a daze, but as soon as this is happening, she's like, wait, what? This is too weird to be happening in my head, and an eyebrow arches.
At this point, Owl, I would say use what you can.
Carl, go ahead and roll escape again, because the house the wards are broken, but everything is confusing because you're still a godshed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Wait, his body is, but his mind, strictly speaking, is old Carl, right?
Right.
I did, however, roll an 18 total.
Ooh.
Nice. No 13s involved in that in
no,
any
it
way?
was close. I had a 12, and
He's
then
reaching.
and I got made the 6.
Where are you leading this motley crew?
I go out the next door, and my intention is to head towards the lighthouse.
So you begin weaving through the house, slamming open doors, and before you get there, you hear the howl of some dark wind deeper in the house, back the direction you came, back from the area of the library. And so you begin to move faster, going on instinct. The Godshed body knows that it's breaking through barriers here that have been weakened by William Kitteridge, but the Carl brain within it is overpowering those instincts to flee, to turn away, to get lost within the hallways of the house. And then you burst out of that back door and into a storm. Snow beats against your face. The sky is dark. It wasn't when you went in. And now snow, sleet, and hail bits just come just slanting down out of the sky as you enter the back garden area. With all of this snow, almost blizzard-like conditions, cold now too, there's no way to see the lighthouse ahead of you, except as one bright beam sweeps around above your heads, illuminating like, well, a lighthouse in the fog, in the storm, shining out, calling, providing warning, but also showing the way.
We have to get up there.
And we'll find out what happens next on the next Gothic Podcast.
No.
Come on, GM,
Okay.
just 5 minutes more.
Just 5 minutes more. Let's keep playing.
The Gothic Podcast is an actual play audio drama produced by C. Patrick Nagel, starring C. Patrick Nagel, Sharon Gollery-Lafournaise, Jesse Baldwin, and Richard Southard. Theme music is by Zoe Hovland, with cover artwork by Jared George Art. Season 2 of the Gothic Podcast uses rules from the Monster of the Week RPG by Michael Sands and the Dead of Night RPG by Steam Power Publishing. Look us up by name on all the social medias or email us at thegothicpodcast@gmail.com. Support for the Gothic Podcast comes from you, our listeners, so please rate, review, and share, and check out our Patreon page too. Thanks!
Cassandra Caine. She is the granddaughter of our sister Rebecca.
Candace? Wait, I'm confused. Hold on.
Yes, Candace. Have I been saying Cassandra?
Yes, you have. A couple
Then
of
I
people
will
did.
change that in post.